Hello friends, I'm Christopher Karlin, Chief Investment Officer of Aquitania Capital Management, a registered investment advisor based in Austin, Texas. I wanted to take this opportunity to discuss my thoughts on the coronavirus as it pertains to financial markets. First, before I begin, I want to express both my sadness regarding the human toll of this pandemic and my great admiration and gratitude for the individuals who are stepping forward to help, most notably our healthcare workers. The economic toll from this crisis will be significant and protracted. Financial markets are not likely to stabilize until there is greater sense that the pandemic has peaked, which experts say may be 30 to 45 days out. In the meantime, markets are crashing as panicked and forced sellers attempt to liquidate positions at the same time. Stock prices have become disconnected from the intrinsic value of the businesses they represent an ownership interest in. The situation is exacerbated by the manner in which many individuals, advisors, and corporations have come to manage their investments. Specifically, the prevalent use of passive index funds and ETFs exaggerate market movements. In 2019, passive funds represented over half of the U.S. equity funds market. It is not my intent to condemn passive or index investing or ETFs. In principle, they have many compelling attributes as a low-cost mechanism to gain market exposure. However, time and again, financial markets have demonstrated that good ideas, when taken to excess, have unintended and often adverse consequences. Index funds, by definition, do not have any opinion as to the underlying value of the securities they hold. They buy and sell securities in response to contributions and withdrawals without respect to the prices at which they transact. When such funds represent a small portion of invested capital, this is of little concern to markets. Other investors can serve the function of setting prices based on their divergent opinions of underlying value. Over the last decade, passive investing has grown significantly at the expense of fundamental investing. This has helped contribute to world equity markets that have risen significantly over the last decade, primarily on the expansion of earnings multiples rather than the expansion of underlying corporate earnings. This is but one unintended consequence of having a major portion of the market being invested in valuation-insensitive strategies. Currently, we are experiencing the painful reversal of this process, as index fund redemptions result in the indiscriminate selling by funds that are price insensitive. While this description of market dynamics may be insightful to you, the more important question you're likely asking is how to invest in the current market. There is an alternative. Stocks are not simply bits on a screen. They are equity ownership interests in the businesses they represent. These businesses, along with the industries in which they operate, are analyzable. While most security analysis is targeted towards the potential profit opportunity, the real value of performing independent, fundamental analysis of industries, businesses, and securities lies in forming an educated opinion of the intrinsic value of the securities held in one's portfolio. This is how we invest at Aquitania. In times of crisis like the present, which happen more often than we think, there is risk control in knowing the underlying value of what we own. I believe very strongly in the value of having the mindset that the market is offering up opportunities each day. By having formed a fundamental opinion on the value of industries, businesses, and securities, I can elect whether I want to be a buyer, a seller, or take no action based on the distance between the quoted price and my estimation of intrinsic value, as well as other available opportunities. In this construct, the quoted price is either opportunity or noise, but it alone does not drive my investment decisions, as I invest with conviction based on my independent research. The analogy I like to use to illustrate this is the value of somebody's home. Most of us have a pretty good understanding of the value of our home based on the fundamental data, such as what comparable home sales are being transacted at, what the rental value of the house might be, the replacement value, etc. Reasonable people will view that value as a range reflecting the normal uncertainty present in everyday life. If someone were to knock on your door and offer you a price 30% above the top of your range, you might be inclined to sell. However, if they offered a price 30% below the bottom of your range, you would readily reject that offer. This analogy highlights two important aspects of successful investing. First, knowing the intrinsic value of what you own is of tremendous advantage, particularly in times of euphoria and panic. Second is that you want to manage the entirety of your financial affairs conservatively so that you can take advantage of opportunities as they present themselves, as opposed to finding yourself in a compromised position. That offer of 30% below what you think your house is worth might have to be accepted if you find yourself in a position where you must liquidate the asset. That something similar is happening in financial markets over the last few weeks. I'm unable to offer investment advice to anyone other than my clients. This crisis, like all others that preceded it, will eventually pass. The human and economic toll will be significant and will have long-lasting effects. I remain confident in the long-term success of humanity. The current investment environment is extremely challenging, obviously, but panic selling always creates opportunities for prudent investors. I believe that communication is all the more vital in times of crisis and will continue to publish videos with updates. I know some of you are clients and many are not. I hope you will find these to be of value, and I welcome your comments. If you are not a client but are interested in learning more about Aquitania and our investment philosophy and process, I welcome inquiries from investors with $500,000 or more to invest. Please do not hesitate to reach out if I can be of service. In closing, I believe strongly the crisis reveals character. While the current events are stressful for us all, I urge you to take a moment and be thankful for all that continues to be good and express your gratitude to others. Strive to be the best part of someone's day, each and every day. Until next time, thank you for listening. Be safe, wash your hands, and take care.